From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. We're waking up with temperatures a little bit chillier than where they were this time yesterday. We're looking at temperatures into the teens and low 20s, so it's going to be a chilly start to our Saturday. Our wind chills are currently across the area into the teens and even below into the teens and 20s. And we're also seeing satellite and radar showing that the clouds have come to an end. Over the next 12 hours, we'll continue to see those temperatures quite chilly and a few patches of sunshine before clouds move back in. All the details coming up in just a little bit. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Saturday, February 1st. I'm Karina Prieto, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. 6 people are feared dead after a small plane crashed in a Philadelphia neighborhood late Friday. Officials say the plane crashed shortly after takeoff. As CBS's Christian Benavides reports, this happened on the heels of investigators getting their first look at the black boxes recovered from Wednesday's fatal collision between a U.S. military helicopter and a commercial passenger plane in Washington.
This is the moment a small medical jet crashed into a Philadelphia neighborhood, setting several homes ablaze. 6 people were on board the Learjet 55 aircraft that had just departed from Northeast Philadelphia, bound for Springfield, Missouri.
When you're hearing that, everybody's just looking at the windows and scared, and it just comes down, and you just like, all you hear is like, and then it's just like everybody's just panicking, everything is just going on, like, you know, everybody like, oh my God, like, yo, like, did the plane just hit, this just hit.
This was the aftermath on the ground in the heavily populated neighborhood where the crash happened.
We know that there will be loss in this region, and we want to offer our thoughts and our serious prayers for those who are grieving at this moment.
The small aircraft was being operated by Jet Rescue Air Ambulance. In a statement, the company said there were 4 crew members and 2 passengers, a pediatric patient and her mother on board, all Mexican nationals. Back in November of 2023, the same company had another crash in the Mexican state of Morelos. 5 people died in that incident. NTSB investigators are on scene in Pennsylvania. It comes as they're already dealing with the ongoing probe into the cause of Wednesday's mid-air collision between an Army Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines flight, which killed 67 people, including 28-year-old Ryan O'Hara, the crew chief aboard the Army Black Hawk. Gary O'Hara is his father.
Seeing 2 Army officers at my front door, it's heartbreaking.
The black boxes from both aircrafts in that incident have been recovered. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Well, we are also tracking the latest from that plane crash in Washington, D.C. CBS News has identified at least 4 other close calls between helicopters and planes around Washington's Reagan Airport. We'll have the latest updates from that story later on in the show. But for now, we're going to stay in Washington for a look at how the new Trump administration handled its second week. Some of the stories we've been following this week include a battle over federal funding and some major shakeups when it comes to government staffing. Earlier this week, Trump had signaled that he would put a freeze on federally approved loans and grants. But yesterday, that effort was formally blocked by a Rhode Island judge who called the funding freeze unconstitutional. Head Start programs in mid-Michigan had to cancel classes, and Medicare websites went dark around the country as part of the immediate chaos. But now those are running again like normal. The new administration also offered buyout programs to virtually every federal employee, but they have less than a week to make a decision. After that, there is still no guarantee the administration won't cut their job anyway. At the State Department, nearly 400 people working with U.S. aid programs have already been laid off. Trump also released a list of thousands of FBI officials who could be fired for their work investigating the people involved in the January 6th Capitol riot. President Trump also announced that new 25% tariffs against goods coming from Canada and Mexico are set to start today. There will also be a 10% tariff on China, and economists say the auto industry in our state is going to feel the pain more than most. That's because most of the cars made in the U.S. have parts that come from our Northern American trade partners. The goal of these tariffs are to encourage companies to buy more American-made products and bring manufacturing back to the United States. But in the short term, experts say these new tariffs are going to be paid by consumers. One independent study released this week says the average buyer will spend more than $800 more per year on everyday goods, and the average price of a new car could go up by $3,000 in the next year. And staying with the economy, a new company from China sent tech stocks into a frenzy. Shares of Nvidia fell by 15% this week after a Chinese AI company showed they can come up with chatbots that are just as good as American companies, and they can do it cheaper without the need for massive server farms. Investors thought these server farms would be a $1 trillion industry, but these new developments have investors rethinking their long-term plans in AI. The news about tariffs and a new bad inflation report this week means they aren't going to see new rate cuts this month from the Federal Reserve. Economists want to wait and see what the next few months look like before they feel comfortable bringing the interest rates down from the historically high level it's at today. And we also have some news breaking overnight from Israel. 3 more hostages have been released by Hamas and 32 prisoners were released by Israel. Since the ceasefire began, 18 hostages have been released. That's a little more than half of the 33 set to be released during Phase 1, although that number includes bodies of some hostages who died in captivity. In total, Israel is still looking for around 80 people, and a third of those are believed to be dead. Hamas says it won't begin talks about the rest of these hostages until Israel has fully withdrawn from Gaza.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, a chilly start has starting our Saturday, and we're going to continue to see the chilly air for today before we see a warm up in the next couple of days. As we saw those temperatures start to drop, that means that any of that moisture on the ground, like those ponds of water and even just that slushiness, could be frozen this morning, and we could have some slippery conditions early this morning. Temperatures this morning, 20 degrees in St. John's, 19 in Lansing, 19 in Charlotte, 21 in Jackson, and 21 in Hillsdale. Our winds are coming from the north, and they are going to cause our feels-like temperatures to be in the teens to almost single digits. 10 degrees in Lansing, 19 in Mason, 12 degrees in Jackson, and 11 degrees in Hillsdale. Our satellite radar is showing those clouds coming to an end, so we could see some sunshine for the day today. Zooming out, we have an area of high pressure system directly to our southwest, and we'll continue to see those clouds begin to develop later on tonight. As you can see on our precision cast, we'll see mostly sunny skies, and by this afternoon clouds do return, so it's going to be one of those days where you need the sunglasses for the first half and then need the sunglasses taken off by the end of the day. 27 degrees, so we're going to be slightly below average for today, as average is typically 31 degrees. We'll see a few hours of sunshine before those clouds increase, and then as we head into the day tomorrow, we do have the chance for some snow showers. So again, it's not going to be a whole lot of snow for tomorrow, but still enough to maybe cause a few impacts. But for today, it's going to be dry and chilly, so you're going to need that jacket again.
I have to say, I was so surprised. I think it was yesterday when it rained, like just normal rain for a little bit until it turned into something else. But I was not expecting that. It was a nice little refresh, I would say.
Yeah, and I mean, some of that rain, in some areas it was overperforming. And again, like we saw that snow mixing in, and I kind of liked seeing the snowflakes mixing in with the rain.
Too.
Like, it's kind of interesting to see what temperature does.
The sound is interesting too.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, Kelsey. And coming up, we'll bring you